This is Jay Chen, and in this video, I'm going to talk about transports. Okay, so transports are down here on the left under My Company. You can click on it, and it will show you a roster of your current transports, um, which ones and where they're going, and their percentage of completion. It also tells you their mode they're in. So first, let's just talk about what transports you have. All right. So you can go down here, click on Purchase a New Vehicle. There are 5 vehicles that you can choose from, all with different capacities, different max speeds. Obviously, prices are different. And the price of your transports will double for each transport of that one that you have. So, which is why I have my airplanes are so expensive because I have so many of them. One thing to note, if you want to see, if you can click on a vehicle. For example, let's click on this truck, and it will tell you that it has 10 units of gasoline. That's its gasoline capacity, and with those 10 units, it will go 2,500 miles. Which, if you do the math for it, the gas mileage is not very good. You can compare that a truck to a trailer, which has 20 units and 3,000 miles. So it's not that great. Some of these doesn't really get that great gas mileage. I think the best gas mileage is the train, which for 20 units it gets you 10,000 miles. So it's pretty good. So you keep that in mind when you purchase your vehicles, which ones you get. I think it's relevant. It has something you want to look into. Um, okay, so my vehicles. Oh, so I guess I should go over this. The vehicles that I have 6 trailers, 7 trains, and 6 airplanes. I think I might buy 1 or 2 trucks, and maybe 1 or 2 cars. We'll see later on. Okay, right now, let's go over the map tool. This is quite useful. So when you click on the map tool, it gives you a map of the US. This is the US version. If you play the Swedish version, it will give you a map of Sweden. Anyways, so the map is color coordinated, and it depends on how you set these numbers down here. Will depend on the color. So I have them set to 14 and 5. Pretty much, basically, I want to see if it's blue. That means it's a really good city. Like Seattle right now has 18 city points. It's got a lot of cargo waiting. If you hover right here, if you hover over your mouse, you can see what's happening. Also, very important to note is that on here, I can't move my mouse to show you because otherwise it'll go away. But on the 3rd section, it says transports en route here. It tells you that 71 are loaded, so they have cargo. They're being transported to Seattle. But 36 are empty. So that means those are transports that, for example, are possibly in Minneapolis, which has a really long queue. And people don't want to wait in queue, so they take an empty vehicle and they go all the way to Seattle. I've done that many times, so depending on how well you can manage the transports, it's something you want to look into. Again, when you do this, well, anyway, so let's finish the color coordination here. Okay, so that's how you can set these numbers to whatever you want to see to see whatever is good for you. But again, you could just hover over each city, and it will tell you the wait times, cargo waiting, all the information that you really need to figure out if the city is good or not. Okay, let's go back to the transports. And let's say, for example, okay, so right here, I have Airplane 3. It's going to Boston. It's 96% done. From here, I clicked on Airplane 3. It tells me a few things, right? It tells me that its current assignment goes from Denver to Boston. It tells me such things as how much company value has it earned so far, how much gasoline is left on it, and how far it will go with that gasoline. Its current speed, so how fast it's going. Even though its max speed is 185, obviously my driver he's decent. He's not that great. So he can't drive at the max speed. All right, and now one thing you can do if this just interests you, you can click on this assignment, and it will tell you how many units, what type of good, and from who and to who. So you can actually, get a good scope on who's your competition. What are they doing? What are they buying? Imperialis is buying oil, and Post-it is selling oil. Haha, I just ruined some of your secrets. Okay. Anyways, as we go on, all right. So from here, you can. So it's gonna. This airplane is going to go to Boston, and I forgot the queue for Boston, but I forgot to check that just before. But I remember it being very long. But I can click here. Click on Boston, and it tells me just the average waiting time for Boston. And it has been 12 hours, and there are currently no assignments waiting. That tells me it's a really long queue. You can go back to the transport, go to Map Tool, and then hover over Boston to confirm. Oh, hold on a second. Let's try and read this. Okay, 12 hours. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, Boston's not a very good city. Actually, why don't I zoom in a little bit? Maybe this will help you guys. There we go. Okay. Maybe a little more. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright, okay, so here we are. Here's my airplane. And I don't want him to go to Boston. Well, I do want him to go to Boston to finish this assignment because I do want my 565 CV. There's no way I can cancel this because it's in process. But let's just say I gotta go right now and I can't manage my airplane 10 minutes from now. What I can do is I can click on Boston, and I can tell him to go to. I'm gonna tell him to go to Seattle, even though it's really far away. Show. These are all the goods that are waiting to be transported in Seattle. A lot going to Boston. And I can order my vehicle to Boston. It tells me the distance, Boston to Seattle. It's very far away, so I'm gonna have to spend all my gasoline to go there. But I'm gonna do it. Okay, so now it's in queue. So basically, once my vehicle has arrived in Boston, it won't wait at all, and it will just go to Seattle. So you can do this for any of your vehicles if you know that it's going to a city with a long queue, and you won't be online, or maybe you will be online, but you want to just move it right away. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. I'll go back. Let's see some of our other transports. Let's see another example. Detroit. Right, I'm going to Detroit here. It's going to take an hour and 10 minutes. And I know Detroit's not that great either. Let's click on Detroit. 10 hours. I mean, you could wait 10 hours, but I got an airplane, so I want it to be, getting as many assignments as possible. So I'm going to send it also to Seattle, because there are a lot of goods waiting in Seattle. So I'm going to order this. Alright, because that I do know that in 1 hour and 10 minutes from now, I will not be online, and I will not be able to manage my transports then. So now's a good time to do it. And lastly, my other airplane is going to New Orleans, also coming from Seattle. See, a lot of goods are coming out of Seattle. And New Orleans is equally bad. Maybe Denver has been okay, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's usually Seattle. Seattle is, in my opinion, for the past week has been pretty safe. So I'm just gonna send them to Seattle. It's really far away, but oh well. It takes basically 10 units of gasoline to get there, from what I remember. Hold on a second, let me check. I knew that from Airplane 3. Okay, Airplane 3 has has 10 units of gasoline left and can go 2,000 some miles. And from Boston, yeah. And so, okay, so from Boston to Seattle is 2,486 miles. That's pretty far, so it's going to be about 10-ish, 10, close to 11 maybe, units of gasoline. And so that's going to cost me a decent amount of money to do it. But hey, company value is very important. Okay, now one thing that I won't do is I won't move my trailers and trains to Seattle. The reason for that is because they move really slowly, and by the time they get there, the goods might be gone, and they'll have to wait in queue anyways. So for the slower vehicles, say this one's going to Kansas City. Take a look at Kansas City. 8 hours. Okay, so why don't we just move it to Denver, for example? Yeah, it's not too far away, and you know, by the time I get there, there might be a queue, but it won't be as bad as 8 hours. It won't be instant like Seattle, where it goes to Seattle and then can leave. I might have to wait in queue a little bit, but that's fine. I'm still gonna order to Denver because Kansas City is really not that great for transports either. Okay, so that's trailer 2. And I think New York City's fine. Obviously, this one's going to Seattle. That's good. Okay, I got a train going to Memphis. I really don't like moving my trains at all. Trains move even slower, and so they're really not that great. But let's double check Memphis. Let's go to the map tool. And how's Memphis? Memphis, ugh, look at that, 14 hours. It's so long. I see. Look at that, 11:05. You know, I could send him to Dallas and have him wait there, but you know what? It's gonna take him like 6 hours or something to get from Memphis to Dallas, and so I might as well just wait the 14 hours there. It's really shitty, but which is why if you don't have a lot of time to manage your transports, you don't want to buy too many planes because your planes will get stuck in really long queues, and you don't want your planes stuck in long queues. Look, I already have one. I have one in Boston. Ah, yeah, and you can see the queue position. I'm not gonna move this one because it's at 12 out of 71, so it's gonna get an assignment pretty soon, so I'm not gonna move it. All right, so the last thing I want to mention is the LTL and the FTL, and what does that mean? I generally have everything of mine set to FTL. That means like full transport load or something like that. And what that basically means is that my vehicle will wait in queue until it gets a full load. So, for example, my airplane's cargo capacity is at 60, and I have my minimum load set to 60. So it's going to wait in queue until there are 160 units to one city. Now, if you look at some of the other ones, so let's take a look at. Oh wait, sorry. Let's go back to that. Okay. If you look at some of the other cities, for example, let's go to Seattle. I'll show you what I mean. In Seattle, for example, there is an assignment from Seattle, Denver of plastic, and there's 112 units. Okay, if you set it to LTL, basically this assignment will be yours. Or for example, one of these assignments will be yours. Even though your minimum is 160, this will be yours. This will be sort of like in queue, and then you're going to wait for the next goods that go from Seattle to Denver, and only Seattle to Denver. Even if there are more, such as this one, goods going to Boston, and this will fill up all of your queue. You accepted this assignment already, so you're going to Denver no matter what. Okay, you have 112 goods, and you're waiting for, I guess this would be 48 more goods to go to Denver. That's if you set it to LTL. So I generally don't like to do that. I like to set it to FTL. So we'll go back. All my things are set to FTL. So that means that my airplane will wait there, and if there's a small assignment, it won't accept it. It's gonna wait until it gets its full assignment, and then it's going to go. This is, I think, the only time you really want to set to LTL is early game when all the goods that are being bought and sold are just all in small quantities, and so you're never going to get a full load. But personally, I just set them all to FTL, and you can just hit this link, change all vehicles. I'm not going to do it. This will change it to LTL. I don't want that. I want them. If yours is set to LTL, you can hit this link and it will set to FTL. If you have gold membership, you can change FTL and LTL for each individual vehicle. But I mean, I have gold membership and I just set them all to FTL anyways. And that is everything you really need to know about transports. The last thing, transports are good. Yeah, you should know that. Transports are good. They create a lot of CV. So consider buying some transports. All right. Have fun. Make lots of CV. Bye-bye.